Sony just announced the A7S III today, which is really exciting because it's been a long period since the A7S II was released, which I think was like about 4 years ago now, so quite a long gap. And many people have been excited for this camera with promises of 4K 10-bit, and just over the years we've been getting more and more rumors. But now it's actually official, it's here. And this is a really exciting camera for a lot of different people. I think it could be a regular go-to camera for lots of different filmmakers out there. But I want to talk about how that compares to my Panasonic S1H. As many of you know, I'm kind of a Panasonic fanboy. Not really. I've used other cameras. I use a Sony FS7 regularly at my job. So I'm not like loyal just to one specific product, but Panasonic nails a lot of different it checks off a lot of boxes for me. And that's why I've been really sticking with their products. Now, when in other camera companies, they get close, but then they usually leave out a few things that hold me back from going with them. But I think Sony actually announced a camera that I actually want, which is really exciting. They finally got to that point. So if you don't know already, it's a 12 megapixel sensor, extremely good in low light. You probably already watched 10 videos by now, so you know the basic rumor rundown. What makes it exciting for me is the fact it's pretty much like the S1H, and I think it even has the same sensor as the S1H, but it has autofocus. It matches the FX9 color science, so they try to get it close to that. A lot of its similarities is kind of paired to those bigger cameras. So you could utilize the A7S III as a B cam or even C cam to multiple interview setups, which I think would be awesome to have side by side in FS7. That would be your B cam, gimbal camera, and it has autofocus, so that way you're allowed to like easily just kind of integrate. You could put on a gimbal, not have to worry too much about focusing that way. And really, I think this camera checks off a lot of boxes for those filmmakers, videographers who do this professionally and need a reliable camera. It does a lot for them because if you think about it, that's the reason I'm not too excited about the R5. Because it had its overheating issues, different record limits, not a lot of video tools. The A7S, they really tried to make sure they checked off it for video. Not so much about photo, it was really dedicated for video. They looked at what people wanted and they provided for that. I would even say that they took notes from Panasonic, having the flip out screen, full-sized HDMI. Those things that it's definitely nice to have for a video camera. Choosing a camera that's right for you depends on your preferences and what you shoot. If you're a variety filmmaker or a videographer, you do this professionally, maybe one day you're shooting an interview, the next day it's a run and gun, gimbal setup, music video, whatnot. I think a large majority of us professionals do that. There's a wide array of different videos and you need versatile gear to kind of help you achieve that. So I think in both regards, the A7S III and the S1H are excellent cameras. And I think that the A7S III might take the cake over the S1H because it has things like autofocus. It can match the FS7. I think it's better suited for that. If you do just a variety, you need autofocus. However, I think if you are trying to be more film-based, I guess, if you do narrative stuff, if you want to have some more cinema quality frame rates to choose from, I think that the S1H provides just a little bit more in that regard. For instance, I like shooting at mixed frame rates. So sometimes I want to shoot 48 frames per second, 96 frames per second, and not just 60 or 120, because those are matched better to 24 frames per second. Also, I think it comes down to your preferences, functionality-wise. The S1H, I've grown accustomed to the Panasonic menu structure, how it operates. It's very intuitive. It's very thought out. With the A7S III, they redesigned the menus, so that's fantastic. However, I still feel like it's a little bit modeled after photography, body design-wise. I think they definitely made more improvements in that regard, and you can certainly get used to it. So overall, I'm really excited that the A7S III is providing such a capable video specs and performances to a market like this. Now, the question is, am I going to buy an A7S III? Maybe. I still don't know yet because, for one, it's really intriguing and I could see it being a great YouTube camera. For instance, if I'm filming a top-down setup, I can just have autofocus, capturing the product. I could put it on this camera or this camera right here stand, and it'll track the autofocus, and I wouldn't have to worry about that. However, I think that's pretty expensive price to pay to just swap out my S1 for it, which I would do. I'll keep the Panasonic S1H and sell the S1 and get the A7S3. However, that provides some problems. Initially, you have to buy another XLR adapter. You'd have to buy another lens adapter, and certain little things you have to just get used to and acquainted to. And of course, the colors won't match as closely as the S1 and the S1H does. So you would have to tweak it for that. So there's some still hesitations I have towards the actually going for the A7S3. However, if I had no camera and I was looking for a capable camera in that price range, I would probably have picked up the A7S3. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this little breakdown. I want to hear your thoughts about the A7S3, whether you're going to go for one, if you have a Sony camera, or if you are in the Lumix camp. I'd like to hear from you. I'll be in the comments responding to it. Overall, pretty excited about this camera announcement. It's looking good for Sony. That's it for this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.